Rapid City Regional Airport, Vertical Circulation Improvement, Phase 1, Demolition, Mack Construction Company.
The Rapid City Vertical Circulation Improvement Project was a challenging project which required careful planning. The project was completed in 6 phases under the field supervision of Chris Weinberger. There were continuously changing conditions which had to be accounted for in order to complete the project scope safely and effectively. For the demolition scope, factors such as noise control, dust control, public safety, craft safety, traffic flow, odors, exhaust, temporary shoring, cleanliness, and removal of debris from the building had to be considered. As a result, various arrangements of temporary walls, dust containment enclosures, negative air machines, natural ventilation, night work, electric/propane equipment, and barricades were required. Major highlights of the demolition scope include removal of 2 escalators, removal of an existing elevator and concrete shaft, demo of multiple concrete beams within the building footprint, demo and removal of existing concrete slabs and footings, demo of precast concrete roofing, and demo of elevated slab on deck. Much of the work took place through the central core of the terminal building. Due to the phasing of the project, demolition often took place directly adjacent to new equipment or near publicly accessible areas. Unique situations for temporary shoring often arose. Critical demolition scopes often took place overnight, with the facility back in operation and cleaned up by 5 a.m. the following morning. Overall, the project was completed safely and the facility remained operable throughout the duration. Mack Construction is thankful to be recognized for our efforts. We would also like to thank Custom Concrete Cutting for completing numerous technical cuts which were key to performing the demolition scope.
Master Craftsman, Superintendent Chris Weinberger. Craftsmen, Billy Kursavi and Brandon Hansen. Mack Project team members, Bill Reichus, Kathy Reichus, John Reichus, and Herman Kunth. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Mack Construction.
Courtyard by Marriott Hotel, Concrete Construction, Colored Stamped Patio, Lauren Doyle Concrete.
All of us at Lauren Doyle Concrete were excited at the opportunity to produce the site work concrete for the new Courtyard by Marriott Hotel property. There was plenty to do, provide all new curb and gutter, sidewalks, and more than 10,000 square feet of paving. But what we looked most forward to was the more than 5,000 square feet of colored and stamped concrete. With a hotel named Courtyard, it is obviously a focal point for the property and somewhere they hope people will relax in and enjoy. So we took great pride in showing off our abilities in stamping the Courtyard patio. There were many design challenges in stamping around fire pits, pergola posts, and planter boxes while maintaining a nearly continuous pattern. It was a challenge getting the proper drainage for water runoff through all of the landscaped obstacles, but everything came out beautifully and functions perfectly. Tucked inside all of the stamped concrete, we highlighted the rear walkway by giving it a colored swirl finish for a different look and better traction. We then offset that walk with a colored broom finish border on each side of the sidewalk, giving the area a unified color but a clearly defined use. Thank you to Consolidated Construction for not only choosing us to do the project, but also giving us the freedom to make the proper design choices in making this project a success. We are proud to have our names associated with this project, and I would like to thank all of my guys at Lauren Doyle Concrete for their hard work and dedication in completing another beautiful legacy of excellence in concrete.
Master Craftsman, Superintendent David Doyle. Craftsmen, Charles Callahan, Craig Burke, Sebastian Burke, Tucker Smith, Alan Hempel, Gene McConkey, and Kevin Simon. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Doyle Concrete.
Seventh-day Adventist Church and School, Concrete Construction, Sculpted Concrete, Base Archway Entrances, Brownstone Concrete Surfaces.
We really love doing this type of work. It brings together so many elements and really forces us to be intentional while also making decisions very spontaneously. Being able to work directly with the architect and the owners in real world time has been quite refreshing. The big challenge in creating on the spot is being able to keep a consistent overall look with the size, texture, and color of the rocks, while being able to move along quite rapidly and progress with the job. So as far as the build goes, we first install tar paper, metal lath, and a scratch coat, much like many masonry jobs. And from there we spray on a heavy coat of specialized mortar mix and then stamp the rock textures into the wet mortar. Next, we carve out the joints to create individual stones and apply more mortar to certain stones to help create a more natural look. When that's all dried, we fill in any imperfections, apply waterproofing, and finally stain and seal everything. We even used rubber stamps that we had made ourselves from rocks right here in the Black Hills.
Master Craftsman Superintendent Mitch Brown and Craftsman Randy Williamson. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Brownstone.
Aurora Hills Substation, Transformer Foundations, Concrete Construction, Complete Contracting Solutions.
The Aurora Hills Substation project started in late November 2019 and was completed early March of 2020. The job site was located about 14 miles northwest of Tioga, North Dakota, roughly 35 miles from the Canadian border. The project consists of 83 anchor bolt foundations of various sizes, 13 equipment pads, and 2 very large transformer pads with oil containments. Each transformer pad consists of containment walls, spill floor, and a large concrete pad to support the transformer. Each pad required 124 cubic yards of 4,500 psi concrete with another 38 cubic yards for the containment walls and floor. Rebar for each pad required number 10 bar, weighing approximately 35,000 pounds. Including the spill floor and the containment walls, total rebar weight was 41,000 pounds. All 13 equipment pads had engineer fill under each one and placed with 4-inch conduits in exact locations. The 83 anchor bolt foundations range from 30-inch to 72-inch diameter, 20 foot to 32 foot in lengths. Because of the extreme cold, the crews built shelters so the concrete specs could be achieved for placing and curing. A significant milestone was to complete the 2 transformer pads in 6 weeks, which was met 4 days to spare.
Master Craftsman Project Manager Bruce Rawl. Superintendent Travis Parsons. Craftsman Caleb Baumeister, Dawson Berg, Mike Orth, Terry Pepper, Josh Huggett, Nathan Hoshide, and Jason Peterson. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Complete Contracting.
Jewel Cave National Monument. Build safety compliant cave tour structures. Concrete Construction. Mac Construction Company.
The Jewel Cave Safety Compliant Tour Structures project was an exciting and challenging project. The tour route is approximately 1/2 mile long with multiple bridges, platforms, concrete pathways, and more than 800 stairs. The upgrades included 4,750 feet of stainless steel cable guardrail, 950 stainless steel stair treads, 1,775 square feet of platform grading, 2,100 square feet of sidewalk, 2,400 feet of curb, and 85 feet of concrete retaining walls. Several of the new guardrails included lighted handrail installed at select dark areas along the tour route to light the pathways without adding excessive light into the natural cave environment. The upgrades also added a new airlock door, a paved accessible egress route through the portal tunnel entrance, and a large concrete paving area at the start of the cave tour for better accessibility for visitors unable to navigate the full tour route. Nearly 60 yards of concrete was transported into the cave using electric wheelbarrows and custom fabricated 1 cubic foot steel boxes on electric stair climbing dollies. Almost half of the concrete, 460 batches using 1,840 bags of ready-mix concrete, was mixed on-site in a temporary building with an electric mixer. In total, over 120,000 pounds of concrete was transported into the cave. A typical 1 cubic yard pour would take 9 workers approximately 6 to 7 hours to complete. Much of the electrical work was off-trail to access existing power in areas of the cave hidden from the public's view. Wiring was hidden in the rocks and brought up through new guardrail posts for a clean install. The steel had to be brought into the cave using stair climbing dollies or carried in by hand for the steel beams and the guardrails. The overall length was limited in order to navigate the tight spaces in the cave, meaning a majority had to be brought in smaller sections and spliced right there in the cave. Much of our work was directly adjacent to sensitive cave features and required extreme care when hauling in or installing the work in the cave. A full trip through the public tour area of the cave, where we were working, also involved navigating over 50 separate stair and bridge structures and the 800+ steps, many of which were under construction at the same time. In an environment like a cave where walking surfaces are continually uneven and stalactites are literally around every corner, we are proud and thankful that there were no lost time injuries to our employees or subcontractors, and no damages to the sensitive features that make Jewel Cave so unique. Thanks to the effort of the National Park Services, the design team, HDR, the contracting team, and others, park staff on more than one occasion commented that the upgrades to the concrete, steel, and lighting enhanced the cave and made different portions of the cave stand out.
Master Craftsmen Superintendents Tom Poland and Craig Euler. Craftsmen: Jeremiah Walton, Jordan Olson, Norm Ostrich, Matt Walters, David Alden, and Chandler Godfrey. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Matt Construction.
Jewel Cave National Monument. Build safety compliant cave tour structures. Metalwork handrails. All metal manufacturing.
The Jewel Cave Safety Compliant Tour Structures project was an exciting and challenging project. The tour route is approximately 1/2 mile long with multiple bridges, platforms, concrete pathways, and more than 800 stairs. The upgrades included 4,750 feet of stainless steel cable guardrail, 950 stainless steel stair treads, 1,775 square feet of platform grading, 2,100 square feet of sidewalk, 2,400 feet of curb, and 85 feet of concrete retaining walls. Several of the new guardrails included lighted handrail installed at select dark areas along the tour route to light the pathways without adding excessive light into the natural cave environment. The upgrades also added a new airlock door, a paved accessible egress route through the portal tunnel entrance, and a large concrete paving area at the start of the cave tour for better accessibility for visitors unable to navigate the full tour route. Nearly 60 yards of concrete was transported into the cave using electric wheelbarrows and custom fabricated 1 cubic foot steel boxes on electric stair climbing dollies. Almost half of the concrete, 460 batches using 1,840 bags of ready-mix concrete, was mixed on-site in a temporary building with an electric mixer. In total, over 120,000 pounds of concrete was transported into the cave. A typical 1 cubic yard pour would take 9 workers approximately 6 to 7 hours to complete. Much of the electrical work was off-trail to access existing power in areas of the cave hidden from the public's view. Wiring was hidden in the rocks and brought up through new guardrail posts for a clean install. The steel had to be brought into the cave using stair climbing dollies or carried in by hand for the steel beams and the guardrails. The overall length was limited in order to navigate the tight spaces in the cave, meaning a majority had to be brought in smaller sections and spliced right there in the cave. Much of our work was directly adjacent to sensitive cave features and required extreme care when hauling in or installing the work in the cave. A full trip through the public tour area of the cave, where we were working, also involved navigating over 50 separate stair and bridge structures and the 800+ steps, many of which were under construction at the same time. In an environment like a cave where walking surfaces are continually uneven and stalactites are literally around every corner, we are proud and thankful that there were no lost time injuries to our employees or subcontractors, and no damages to the sensitive features that make Jewel Cave so unique. Thanks to the effort of the National Park Services, the design team, HDR, the contracting team, and others, park staff on more than one occasion commented that the upgrades to the concrete, steel, and lighting enhanced the cave and made different portions of the cave stand out.
Master Craftsmen Superintendents Tim Burke and Michael Leach. Craftsmen Cameron Blank, Hanty Cummings, John Kernow, Braden Ferguson, Max Fravel, Lori Hilpert, John Hirschfield, Matthew Irwin II, Zach Kishiyama, Luke Lloyd, Keith Mackey, Devin Nason, Elmer Olila, Elliot Ruggles, Zachary Semple, Ryan Sensiskow, Patrick Sieverding, Michael Wagner, and Floyd Wilcox. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from All Metal Manufacturing.
Jewel Cave National Monument. Build safety compliant cave tour structures. Electrical construction. Freeman's Electric Service.
The Jewel Cave Safety Compliant Tour Structures project was an exciting and challenging project. The tour route is approximately 1/2 mile long with multiple bridges, platforms, concrete pathways, and more than 800 stairs. The upgrades included 4,750 feet of stainless steel cable guardrail, 950 stainless steel stair treads, 1,775 square feet of platform grading, 2,100 square feet of sidewalk, 2,400 feet of curb, and 85 feet of concrete retaining walls. Several of the new guardrails included lighted handrail installed at select dark areas along the tour route to light the pathways without adding excessive light into the natural cave environment. The upgrades also added a new airlock door, a paved accessible egress route through the portal tunnel entrance, and a large concrete paving area at the start of the cave tour for better accessibility for visitors unable to navigate the full tour route. Nearly 60 yards of concrete was transported into the cave using electric wheelbarrows and custom fabricated 1 cubic foot steel boxes on electric stair climbing dollies. Almost half of the concrete, 460 batches using 1,840 bags of ready-mix concrete, was mixed on-site in a temporary building with an electric mixer. In total, over 120,000 pounds of concrete was transported into the cave. A typical 1 cubic yard pour would take 9 workers approximately 6 to 7 hours to complete. Much of the electrical work was off-trail to access existing power in areas of the cave hidden from the public's view. Wiring was hidden in the rocks and brought up through new guardrail posts for a clean install. The steel had to be brought into the cave using stair climbing dollies or carried in by hand for the steel beams and the guardrails. The overall length was limited in order to navigate the tight spaces in the cave, meaning a majority had to be brought in smaller sections and spliced right there in the cave. Much of our work was directly adjacent to sensitive cave features and required extreme care when hauling in or installing the work in the cave. A full trip through the public tour area of the cave, where we were working, also involved navigating over 50 separate stair and bridge structures and the 800+ steps, many of which were under construction at the same time. In an environment like a cave where walking surfaces are continually uneven and stalactites are literally around every corner, we are proud and thankful that there were no lost time injuries to our employees or subcontractors, and no damages to the sensitive features that make Jewel Cave so unique. Thanks to the effort of the National Park Services, the design team, HDR, the contracting team, and others, park staff on more than one occasion commented that the upgrades to the concrete, steel, and lighting enhanced the cave and made different portions of the cave stand out.
Master Craftsman Project Manager Nick Larson, Superintendent James Reichelt, and Journeyman Larry Maxajewiski. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Freeman Electric.
Pour 54, Custom Metalwork and Handrails, Tessiers.
Brian and Renee Dada, along with their son Parker and daughter Hope, began the journey of building an all-new bar environment in Rapid City early last year. Tessiers originally became involved with the project to install the HVAC system. This quickly turned into needing some specialty metal work done in some other areas of the building. As finished work was being done, a black iron theme to offset the uncovered brick and pine beetle walls was a must. Justin stepped in with his team and quickly designed handrails, rim joist covers, and post surrounds. These were all fabricated in the shop and field welded on site or installed utilizing square head bolts. Once installed, the crew stained and sealed the metal to ensure a uniform look. Justin also built and installed all of the black iron countertops, the stainless steel on the walls, and the custom drink rails under the taps. This project was completed in July of 2020, so it could be open to try and capture some of the summertime crowd. This could not have been accomplished without great teamwork by all the trades on site and a great attitude of the owners.
Master Craftsman, Project Manager George Olson. Craftsmen, Justin Robertson, Carl Fleming, and Jacob O'Connor Collins. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Tessiers.
Monument Health, Rapid City Hospital Expansion, Millwork, Rangel Construction Company.
For 3 years, Rangel Construction has played a unique part in Monument Health's expansion in the Rapid City area. In 2020, we dedicated nearly 20,000 man-hours toward casework installation for the main hospital's new addition. This project featured various architectural panel systems, including those manufactured by Fry Reglet, Marlite, and Nudo. The Marlite and Nudo panels were installed directly to the wall substrate using only adhesive, no clips, which required significant planning for precise fit, as well as bracing after the panels were applied. The Fry Reglet panel systems were used to capture and frame feature locations such as soffit and hallway openings. These aluminum panels required significant shimming and leveling for tight miters and joint trim, along with the installation of plywood substrates for mounting. Rangel Construction was also responsible for installing all casework, reception counter assemblies, and solid surface paneling and countertops. Our craftsmen set all cabinetry and also installed and seamed all solid surface materials. One of the main features in the clear story entry space is the monumental stairway. Rangel was tasked with wrapping the stair stringers with solid surface, which had to be mechanically fastened to the substrate in order to conform to the curved stringers. The upper portion of the stairway required scribing the solid surface against a rigid stone surface. Countless hours were spent scribing, sanding, filling, and seaming on this assembly. Rangel Construction is proud and appreciative of the craftsmanship shown by Mike Horton, Tim Shepard, Michael DeLeon, Dave Ormisher, Sean Clemens, Jake Ruffcorn, Terrence Richard, and Doug Gamash.
Master Craftsman Superintendent Mike Horton. Craftsmen, Terrence Richard, Sean Clemens, Michael DeLeon, Tim Shepard, Dave Ormisher, Jake Ruffcorn, and Doug Gamash. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Rangel Construction.
Monument Health, Rapid City Hospital Expansion, Smoke Exhaust System, Tessiers.
Monument Health undertook a 300,000 square foot addition to the existing campus that was originally built in the late 70s. The addition included a new main entrance with a 200,000 cubic foot 4-story atrium. This area, due to size, was designed to have a smoke exhaust system, complete with auto-closing partition walls and doors, 6 smoke exhaust fans, and 10 supply fans moving approximately 164,000 CFM. The air was delivered through a custom bronze supply grill on the south wall and perforated wood decorative walls located on the main floor. The exhaust fans above the ceiling drew the exhaust air through an opening in the sheetrock left at the top of the atrium. It was determined by the Rapid City Fire Department that there needed to be a hot smoke test and prove the smoke evacuation system would meet the NFPA code minimum. Tessiers developed a way to produce hot smoke utilizing a turkey fryer, a piece of duct, and 6 smoke grenades producing 240,000 cubic feet of dense white smoke. The system was designed to remove the smoke to a level that people could see the exits within 7 minutes. With some duct design modifications and ingenuity on the installer's part, we accomplished the removal of the smoke in under 2 minutes, well under the requirement of the NFPA code and meeting the Rapid City Fire Department's requirements.
Master Craftsman Project Manager Sean Cast. Superintendent Eli Wilson. Foreman Anthony Kress. Craftsman Kylander Moody, Sam Kinstall, Jared Dunn, Scott Selgaby, Kyle Stokes, Jody Fackelman, Cassidy Walton, Brett Stratton, Sean Mathis, Dave Del Salato, and Robert Ratty. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Tessiers.
Ascent Innovation, Metal Panel Installation, Skull Construction Service.
We start off with a long list of subcontractors, and they each have their scope of work, and some of them have either entirely completed or very closely completed their scope. All the exterior waterproofing on the outside of the building is done. And then we have 2 types of metal panel systems. One is called Millennium panels. So they're about an 8-inch high by 14-inch wide panel, and they're all stainless steel, and the color comes from heat treating them. I don't think there are any in Rapid City.
One of the things we've gotten done in October is we've gotten half of the building enclosed. Millennium panels are on the south side of the building, the radius front. I think a lot of people have really noticed them, and we've had a lot of people that really like it. With the mooring panels, it's quite a process. There's a lot of parts and pieces, but yeah, we're getting quite a few of those on, changing the appearance of the building.
Metal siding is 99% done.
Master Craftsman Superintendents Tom Palm, Dan Rewerts, and Keenan Miller. Craftsmen Brandon Rewerts, Devin Good, Patrick Rogers, Danny Lowe, Austin Mays, Wyatt Rhoda, and Gerald Kolhoff. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Skull Construction.
Kieffer Family Dental, Exterior and Interior Finishes, Wrangle Construction Company.
The Kieffer family turned to Wrangle Construction for the expansion of its prominent dental facility. Although not a large-scale project, working with ARC International and the Kieffers involved some unique architectural features and required a very high attention to detail. The addition was laid out on a skewed angle from the original building and involved the creation of a clear story space within the treatment area. The Wrangle Construction craftsmen performed selective demolition and then framed the steel and wood addition, all while the facility remained in operation. The same craftsmen that performed the demolition and framing were also charged with crafting some of the unique interior and exterior features. One key feature on the exterior is the colorful Nichiha siding. The craftsmen were tasked with providing a random pattern with no instruction, using only a set quantity of factory finished materials. In addition to the pattern, these panels had to be hand mitered on the building quarters. On the interior of the new addition, key features, both visually and functionally, included the casework and millwork. For these, Wrangell Construction worked closely with its trusted supplier, Riss and Associates. Together we built and installed vibrantly colored break room casework, customized workstations for the dental staff, and custom storage and shelving features for administrative staff. Wood doors and hardware were also installed by Wrangell, including a unique rail door assembly. The same craftsmen that performed the rough and framing phases also delivered the high-quality finished carpentry work of this project. They even installed glazed tile in the restrooms. Wrangell Construction is proud and appreciative of the craftsmanship shown by Josh Button, Michael De Leon, Dave Ormisher, Jeremy Voss, and Wayne Alexander.
Master Craftsman Superintendent Josh Button. Craftsman Jeremy Voss, Wayne Alexander, Michael De Leon, and Dave Ormisher. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Wrangell Construction.
Lynn's Convenience Store, Interior Wood Finishes, Complete Contracting Solutions.
Anytime you break ground in February, you're always facing a challenge. Mother Nature is unforgiving and does as she pleases. On February 19th, right out of the gates, we were faced with thawing the ground so that we could dig and pour our footings in a timely manner to meet our completion date of July 29th, 2020. Not only was the weather an issue, but we all had to adapt and conform to the COVID-19 protocols, trying to perform and meet a deadline while maintaining social distancing and disinfecting tools and equipment daily. This was an interesting challenge in itself, but we all worked together as a team and made it happen. The construction of the structure was pretty basic. What makes it stand out is the attention to detail on the vaulted ceilings and the exposed beams. The ceiling was done in a locally sourced bugwood, which made it special in my opinion. We were able to stain and seal this in a timely manner and install it properly so that it looked elegant and uniform. The beams brought it all together with a bold, clean finish. The exterior was completed using a variety of materials, both wood and metal. Clean cedar wood trim enhanced the ever-changing direction metal exterior, making it unique and stand out. Under great leadership, we managed to get a fairly large detailed project completed by our deadline and got our customer up and running as promised.
Master Craftsman Superintendent Patrick Van Loen. Craftsman John Schull and Ryan Van Osdale. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Complete Contracting.
West Middle School HVAC upgrades, mechanical construction, Wolf's Plumbing and Heating.
The project consisted of two buildings, one built in 1953, the north, the other in 1962, the south. Neither one of the buildings had a central air conditioning system. The cooling that was available was handled with a few mini splits and some window shakers. The south building had an outdated hydronic heating system. The north building had a newer model of hydronic heating system, just not big enough for what was needed by both buildings. The RCAS board decided to replace the south building's hydronic heating system totally, updated the north building's HVAC equipment and accessories, and provide a chilled water system large enough to take care of both buildings. The system is comprised of 4-pipe unit ventilators for the classrooms, which have ducted discharges in the south building classrooms. High-efficiency condensing boilers provided water for heating, and a DX water chiller provides water for cooling. There are necessary unit heaters, exhaust fans, pumps, along with an automatic temperature control system to provide for a complete HVAC system. All water systems include a 30% inhibited propylene glycol solution. The project started in May of 2020 with an extremely aggressive schedule. To compound matters, it was apparent from the start that there may be problems getting equipment on time to meet the schedule. First, the bid date of April 15th left little time to get submittals prepared and approved so the equipment could be ordered. In addition, The COVID pandemic had crept into almost all aspects of the construction industry. Both manufacturing and shipping were slowed down considerably. Through a joint effort by suppliers, construction, and design teams, we were able to get all the equipment for inside the building ordered by mid-May. With anticipated ship dates that range from the first week of June to the last week of July, there wasn't much time left for installation, considering the completion date was August 17th. The actual construction got underway a couple weeks earlier than anticipated. Due to the shutdowns caused by the pandemic, staging of on-site infrastructure and storage, and the removal of existing heating equipment and piping systems started on May 4th. A lot of this pipe was in tunnels, and the boiler room was about 5 feet below the main floor. The boilers and existing expansion tanks were fairly large, so they had to be cut into small enough pieces to fit through the door. The guys built a trolley system to use for getting the parts from the sunken boiler room up to the main floor, where they used dollies to get things out onto the loading dock. This was not an easy project. New installation of piping had already started before the boiler room equipment was all removed. Removal of all the existing HVAC units, along with the cabinetry, was accomplished at the same time. There was a lot of classroom equipment, computers, that had to be protected during construction. There were several items that had to be addressed on the fly. There wasn't much time for investigating before deciding how to address issues. Both the owner and design engineer were very helpful in making this work. On June 5th, we found out that the manufacturer of the unit ventilators for the south building had closed down due to COVID. This threw a monkey wrench into the project. After some help from another HVAC supplier, we came up with an alternate unit to order. This, of course, put the shipping date out farther than the original date anticipated. More reasons the job completion date was in jeopardy. All the ship dates for the most part were delayed due to COVID. We didn't receive the chiller until the third week of September. All that aside, the job went very smoothly for something so hectic. The workers all put in extra hours working together very well to get the system completed. They completed a very complex project in a very compressed time frame. They can all be very proud.
Master Craftsman Superintendent Scott Hartman, Mechanical Superintendent Slade Volk, HVAC Foreman Bruce Walby, Craftsman Rob Bennett, Jesse Culver, Eddie Frazier, Roger Gaynor, Case Gustafson, Craig Hobson, Wyatt Horn, Dawson Hoven, Mason Kiteforce, Woodrow Palmer, Zeb Palmer, Richard Rupp, and Kenton Voorhees. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Wolf's Plumbing.
Private residence, plaza and site landscape renovation, pavers, planting, fence, concrete, low voltage, and accent lighting, terracite design.
6808 Prestwick was a residential project that Terracite Design took on in 2019 as part of a design build effort for the then homeowner Tracy Ingram. Renovations were desired at the entry courtyard to the home as the space was restricted and had issues with visibility, drainage, and engagement. Terracite completed initial design drawings and then began the work with a small team that included some key subcontractors, including Pike at Play, Sea Eagle, Creative Ironworks, and Kilowatt. Terracite self-performed stormwater, low-voltage lighting, landscape, irrigation, concrete paver installation, and the on-site management. Following demolition, painstakingly done by Pike at Play, stormwater updates included development of subgrade and catchment structures and daylighting out of the courtyard into adjacent landscape, and were of particular importance to the success of these hardscapes and the project. The space was opened up by demolishing stucco walls and salvaging and then restoring masonry columns, which changed the solar exposure and views in and out of the courtyard. The team brought Sea Eagle to pour new concrete steps and then followed up with installing paver, stoop, and plaza. We then integrated low voltage lighting into the landscape and added some standard voltage lighting and the uplighting in feature areas at the covered entry. This was to address visibility and the ambience of the space. Following the lighting efforts, we added in plantings appropriate for the new exposure and drip irrigation to serve them. Just in time for winter to set in, Creative Ironworks installed the custom fence panels in place of the old stucco walls to complete the efforts. Maxwell Frabel, one of our young superintendents, presided over the work from start to finish. Maxwell was mentored by Eric Hikas, the project designer. All team members worked shoulder to shoulder in the small space at one point in time during construction. Tom Rao, who nominated the project as a listing realtor, said the efforts helped position the home for sale and also added value to the property.
Master Craftsman, Superintendent Maxwell Frabel. Craftsmen, Eric Hikas, Shane Matt, Spencer Frabel, and Caleb Cheddar. Terracite Project team members, Matt Pike, Tyrell Bradley, Chad Eagle, Mike Riegert, Steve Orth, Rick Rostern, Justin Horner, Dally Foster, and Arden C. Koch. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Terracite.
Private residence, pool house addition, concrete construction, finish carpentry, water feature, Seco Construction.
2020 was a challenging year for all of us, and this project was no exception. This pool house was constructed in the place of a former sport court. The existing surface was removed and hauled away, and the site needed to be excavated up to 12 feet to allow for the new pool. Unfortunately, some solid gyp kept that from being an easy process. The excavation that should have taken 3 days instead took 3 weeks and involved a rock saw cutting swaths of the gyp 3 feet deep and 6 inches at a time so that they could be chipped out and removed. Once the excavation was complete, the fun could begin. For being a relatively straightforward floor plan, the pool house addition had a complex foundation including an 8-foot wall on the south elevation. The entire south and west concrete walls form not only the building foundation, but also a retaining wall for the earth behind it. The west wall steps and tapers down from 8 feet all the way to 2 feet in elevation. Additionally, the foundation had to drop below a 16-foot wide bifold multi-panel stacking entry door. Once the foundation was in place, Seco's personnel got to work on pouring the colored and stamped patios and interior floor. The owner desired a floor finish that looked both natural and beautiful. They selected doeskin integral color with a charcoal release, with 6-inch random wood planks in the field of the pool house and a textured stone highlight around the pool. Some of the complicating factors for these pours were the number of things embedded in the floor, including a channel drain around the pool cover track, several power risers, floor drains, and plumbing stub-ups. Some of the linear track and drains had to pass through the curvature of the stamped concrete, further complicating the forming and concrete placement. All the interior floors were poured within the confines of the foundation walls, which made randomizing the stamp pattern and getting a stamp all the way to the edge even more difficult. The accent bands around the pool were poured and stamped while the pool was full of water, adding to the awkwardness. The pour could only be worked from one side. Once the structure was framed, sheetrocked, taped, and painted, Seco's craftsmen got to work on the interior woodwork, from the tongue-and-groove ceilings to the custom rough-sawn columns, beams, arches, and corbels on the outside, the custom back bar, arched casings, and custom water feature accent wall. Seco's craftsmen designed, fabricated, and installed beautiful woodwork throughout the project. The owner had a vision of a custom radiused water feature wall to be a centerpiece and conversation starter within their pool house. They presented their concept to Seco and allowed us the opportunity to brainstorm and build their vision. The water feature is 42 feet long, 4 feet high, and flows approximately 80 gallons per minute. The water is siphoned from one side of the pool and delivered to the water feature wall with a 1.5 horsepower variable speed pump through 2-inch flexible PVC that ties in at the center point behind the water feature to a 4-inch Schedule 40 reservoir pipe. That Schedule 40 reservoir pipe feeds 4 separate 2-inch branches that distribute evenly to the radius pipe tucked behind the wood slats out of sight. The water trickles down through 3 30-second holes at 3/4 inch on center, creating a rainfall effect in front of a glass mosaic that is highlighted by a LED accent light. Special thanks to Zane and Trinidad Brink for allowing us the opportunity to work on such an interesting project, And thank you to Jessica Bergeline and Brad Burns with Chamberlain Architects for being such great partners as we work through the design and construction of this fantastic project.
Master Craftsmen Superintendents Darren Britton and Dale Grimm. Craftsmen Justin Yellowboy, Trace Britton, Tyler Solano, Bryce Arnold, Paul Stevens, Dave Crosswhite, and Chris Schrock. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Seco Construction.
Private residence, steam enclosure, the glass shop.
In order to make the shower feel like a high-end spa experience in such a large space, French-style double doors added elegance to the large entryway. One of the challenges with this installation was the sheer size of the opening. In order to let as little air in and steam out as possible, everything had to be sealed and adjusted precisely. The doors and the transom required very specific fabrication and edgework. The timeless beauty of glass speaks for itself, and when combined with the unlimited design flexibility, a bathroom can be the ultimate expression of individual style and taste. This shower is a stunning statement of what a properly designed, quality-built, frameless enclosure can add to the beauty of a bathroom.
Master Craftsman Superintendent Garrett Van Boven. Craftsmen Levi Wilcox and Stephen Gray. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from the glass shop.
Private residence, hardwood and porcelain tile flooring, Black Hills Flooring.
I'm John Hardesty, owner of Black Hills Flooring in Rapid City, South Dakota. Our award-winning flooring project is in a custom home built by Russ Johnson Construction of Hill City. Black Hills Flooring provided all the flooring and flooring installation for this project. The work consisted of 3,500 square foot of wire brush engineered hardwood flooring with 15 custom hardwood stairs, 1,200 square feet of porcelain floor tile, 150 square feet custom tile accent wall, 250 square foot custom tiled shower using Schluter shower systems and accessories, with the finishing touch being a split face stacked stone on the kitchen backsplash, which provided the rustic touch that the homeowner desired. I want to thank the installers on this project, Leroy James for the wood flooring and Joey Block for the tile. Like always, their craftsmanship is impeccable. Also, thanks to Russ Johnson Construction for selecting Black Hills Flooring as their flooring provider.
Master Craftsman Leroy James and Joey Block. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Black Hills Flooring.
Private residence, framing, exterior siding, interior finishes, Skull Construction Service.
One word that sums up this private residence is complexity. This home was a combination of steel structure and wood framing that came together to create a modern style with open layouts. This mixture of framing is anything but normal. At 50 foot tall, this home had a winding staircase that went all the way from the basement to the third floor, decorated with custom metal stringers and timber treads. The stairs were not able to be installed until the project was almost done due to the intricacies of the finished product. As you can imagine, there was a lot of climbing up and down ladders. The exterior was a combination of stone, wood grain aluminum siding and soffit, enormous windows, and cement board siding, which created a truly unique look. The sheer height of this home, combined with sloped soffit and a multitude of corners and transitions, made this project a challenge. The biggest window was 8 foot by 20 foot tall, with several others measuring 12 foot by 9 foot. The large windows, combined with the elaborate patios on every level, showcased the amazing views. The size of the windows created some very unique and complicated framing. It was very tricky to combine all of the different finishes to keep it aesthetically appealing while also functioning properly. What truly made this home exquisite was the interior finishes. Solid 7-foot and 8-foot tall walnut doors that were cased in walnut gave the home a luxurious feel and appearance. The 6-inch walnut baseboards accentuated the detailing in the walnut cabinets. Several of the ceilings had clear tongue and groove cedar, and one of the ceilings was vaulted in 2 different directions. Both sides of this ceiling had to be taken up at the same time to make sure that they lined up perfectly in the valley at the peak. 60 timber treads had to be individually routed from metal plates on the stringers to countersink into the tread. Then another router was needed for an LED light to shine down on the tread below. This beautiful and intricate home boasts of incredible craftsmanship, patience, and attention to detail. Skull Construction is extremely proud of the complexity and time that went into the construction of this home.
Master Craftsman Superintendent Chad Bingaman. Craftsmen Darius Balkunas, Dwayne Schubauer, Lee Guy, Josh Gillespie, David Kunzweiler, Richard Bickle, Lothario Kelly, Justin Peckron, and Manny Trujillo. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Skull Construction.
Private residence, electrical construction, lighting, lighting control, and automation and accent lighting. Kilowatt Electric.
The private residence consisted of wearing a 3-story custom home on top of a full basement garage. Some of the electrical systems include a standby natural gas generator with an automatic transfer switch, a Crestron lighting control system, a lightning protection system, and provisions for future electric ice melting equipment. Special appliance connections included electrical connection to an elevator, steam generator, hot tubs, future electric car chargers, fireplaces, radiant ceiling heaters, and numerous kitchen appliances. The most challenging aspect of the house was the lighting. Direct, indirect, accent, task, and art lighting techniques were used throughout the house. The staircase in the center of the house was one of the items in the house the owners wanted to showcase. The pedestal staircase extended from the basement to the 3rd floor with a rock wall on one side and glass railing on the other. A mixture of wall grazing fixtures and cable lighting was used to illuminate the rock wall. LED tape light was installed underneath each tread to light the tread below. Step lights were used in the walls to light the way into the basement. Another area that offered lighting challenges was the covered patio on the main floor. The beautiful wood and beam ceiling offered nowhere to install light fixtures. The ceiling was indirectly lit with high lumen LED exterior tape light on the top of the beam. By mounting the track on adjustable brackets, the light could be adjusted to graze the curve of the tongue and groove ceiling. This offered a nice glow to the ceiling without seeing any light fixtures. The exterior lighting of the home offers a variety of different lighting. Step lighting was used in the parapets of the 3rd floor viewing deck to provide light but not disrupt the view. Flood lighting was used to illuminate the peaks and eaves on the 2nd and 3rd floors. Landscape lighting will include pathway lighting, uplighting for trees and shrubs. Also flood and spot lighting to illuminate features in the landscaping.
Master Craftsman Superintendent Matt Warren. Craftsmen Austin Neese and Tony Beshara. Help us congratulate the craftsmen from Kilowatt Electric.